working, man.
I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P, and a lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious, I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.
All right, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to the program, ladies and gentlemen. You are now tuned in to Let's Go Live with Lamont King. I'm Lamont King, and let's go live. Let's go. One more time. All right, in case you don't know, we do this each and every Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Shout out to everybody on the West Coast and watching worldwide. Appreciate you. We made it, man. We made it to another day. You could have been somewhere else, but you're here. Could have gone the other way, but it didn't. Blessed, anointed, highly favored, delivered. Could have gone the other way. All right, man. Happy whatever day it is to you. I'm not going to say the day because then the replay value of this show, when you watch it again, you be like, oh, that shit was old. But happy day to you. Happy every day, as the old heads say. Good to see y'all. Peanut Gallery, make some noise. Thumbs up in the chats. Thumbs up in the chats. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, thumbs up. All right, we are broadcasting live from the newly remodeled Drunken Fruit Studios.
I don't care if it is a closet. You still looking mad efficient.
Thank you, sir. Drunken Fruit Studios, one of our longtime sponsors. Here's the information right here. Get you a situation. Reach out to them if you have any questions. Don't ask me. There's a video playing in Tiny Closet Studios, the Facebook group. Please, jump in there if you're not already. There's a video playing also on the YouTube page. Subscribe to that if you're not already, where I interviewed the owner-operator, Big Wayne, Drunken Fruit Wayne, and he explained the whole situation and why it's such an outstanding endeavor, business endeavor. It's a beautiful thing. Some people, we're coming up with a matter of fact. Let's do that today. I need to put up an order code. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put up an order code. We're gonna do that before the end of the show. Put up an order code so when you go to the site and you put in the code, they'll know that it came from here. So we're gonna have that. I meant to do that already, but hey. Either way. And of course, if you see something, share something. And what that means is just a cool way of saying when my videos pop up, share them, man, repost them. Because every time at the end of the show, every day I go to the analytics and it be the same people watching. We can't operate like that, man. We'll close down in 6 months if we keep operating like that. Start a watch party. I don't care what you do, but tell somebody. Don't keep this to yourself, because then when it get bigger, you be like, oh yeah, that was the thing where I was yeah. Nah, people gonna be like, we don't believe you. The Humor Mill app, they're launching 3 additional shows. Our show was the first live show on the Humor Mill app. The Humor Mill app, well, Humor Mill channel. So the Humor Mill channel is on Roku. It's on Tiki Live. These are apps, streaming apps. The Humor Mill channel streams through those apps. This show streams live. It's 3 shows coming. Can't say what they are. One is a popular morning show in the DC area that's starting Monday as a late night talk show. The host of the morning show, former Rap City host. He's got a show Monday. There's a sports show currently called Box Seats that's on there live, and then there's another show that's coming. So there'll be like 4 shows total, and ours was the first. So you can catch it in the app. That's in case we get booted off Facebook and YouTube in the near future. You'll know where we at. So there's that. They're playing games. This is a real operation. You can we're 100% viewer supported. $ Lamont King 06. That's on the Cash Apps. And of course, you want to be completely protected and catch all the content. Go into Patreon, Mr. Lamont King. Become a patron. We would appreciate that. It'd be an amazing thing. We got a couple new patrons yesterday. A couple new sponsors. Let me shout out real quick. James Wright. Shout out to James Wright. He dropped a little bit on the show yesterday after viewing, and we appreciate that. So you feel free to do the same. We take loose ones. We take 5s, dimes, all of that. If you got a business and you want us to showcase and spotlight the business, please reach out. Feel free. If you got, a clothing line, you want to get on D-Play, as they used to say back in the Go-Go's, you have to get your stuff on D-Play. We can do that as well. All right, moving on. Also, shout out to our executive producer, Mr. Clarkson, who will be joining us very shortly to talk about a topic that we ran out of time on yesterday. That, again, I've been seeing everybody talk about today. So just know this show is, we set trends here, man. Peanut Gallery, what up? We got Mish, we got Teron, we got John Watson from All Fun and Games, Yvonne Marie, Cherise Caldwell, the homie, long time. Tip, what's good? And as always, one of our day one donors, Shay Anderson, ladies and gentlemen. All right, there it is. Here it is. And by the way, if it's your first time watching, man, this is a live show. So anything can happen. Don't get it twisted. Anything can happen. This is just like live radio, but better without the commercials. And it's like a podcast, but different. All right. A couple things I want to talk about before we get into way down in the hole. And I know you're looking at way down in the hole. There's an explanation for that. It's simple, but I was perusing Twitter earlier, looking at some headlines, and I was like, man, slow news day. And then I went and I was like, no, it isn't. No, it's not. So I'm gonna read through like just the first 3 trending, right? So this is today. U.S. Postal Service warns employees not to speak to the press. There was an internal memo that was leaked telling employees not to speak to the press about the current issues surrounding the president and the post office. But this is how they said it, though. This is why this is 2020. 2020 is the explanation for everything. I don't care what goes wrong. The explanation for it, if it sounds dumb, if it don't make sense, it's just 2020. So use that. Tell your kids to use that in class too, virtual class. This is in quotes from a leaked memo from the United States Postal Service to their employees regarding speaking to the press. If you're dealing with a customer, especially one who asks a series of questions, it is perfectly appropriate to ask them, are you a member of the media? This is what now I get it. 2020. Now I get it, because a couple of days ago we were trying to run our own little investigation, do our own little Googles, and talk to somebody. I was trying to get a letter carrier on here, and we had a couple people that reached out live. Two in particular that were going to join the show, but they were literally still on their route at 6:30 in the evening. We'll come back to that. But they were unable to come on the show, so we ran out of time. But now there's a directive coming from the top down saying they can't talk to press. And if they think that somebody they dropping their mail off to or a customer that comes into the store is media, they can ask them. What? Dude, what? Hey, Young, where are we? Like, what is going on? And first of all, let's say it the way they be saying it all the time on the news. Well, if they ain't got nothing to hide, then what's the issue with talking to the press? Wouldn't you think that a government agency who everybody has some type of connection to would like to be as transparent as possible, especially if they're going through a period of time when there's a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of like this is taxpayer money is paying for you to exist, and we can't get you to answer what the hell is going on. Like, that's just the weirdest thing to me. So let's go back to the thing I said we're coming back to. My coworker, elderly lady, said she's been getting her mail from the mail person recently, every day, close to 10 o'clock at night. What? 10 o'clock at night? You get your mail? Like, granted, we don't get a lot of stuff in the mail, but this is an older lady, so she probably gets everything in the mail. She don't do no online bill pay. She ain't got nothing on auto pay. So you mean to tell me you got to wait all day for your business to come in the mail because of all the games that's being played with the post office right now? Hey, man, 2020. God damn. 2020. All right. The second one. This is like 3 in a row. All these stories is like, are you kidding me? All right, here's the second one. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, maybe this is why. Maybe this is why. Here's another story that's just 3 hours ago updated. There was a U.S. Postal Service worker that said Trump is definitely trying to affect the election. This is from Level Mag. He's trying to mess with the collection of absentee ballots, period. This is an anonymous mail carrier who revealed that he had been witnessing what he's been witnessing from inside the post office in light of Trump's recent admission that he's blocking funding ahead of the 2020 election. Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's why they don't want y'all to say nothing. Oh, man, this is 2020. Sheesh. All right, wait a minute. I got to go back to the other story. Oh, they done moved it. Twitter be on one because sometimes you be like, what are y'all talking about in the trending topics? This is the top 10 trending. Who says who? Yep, Twitter be on. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, don't get married to this social media stuff, man, because it's tricky. It's more programming. It's more social engineering because some days, it's a sidebar. Some days I go in there in the top 10 and see what, thinking I'm trying to inform myself. And they'd be like, so-and-so is trending like number 2 with 4,000 tweets. I'm like, how? And then you got to go expand and go, further down the page to see something that's really kind of important. That somebody black said something. And they'd be like 200,000 tweets. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Isn't that the definition of trending? Like a lot of people at one time tweeting? Anyway, I done lost the second story. I should have saved it or something. Yeah, ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna continue. So here was another one. This was another one. Uber and Lyft. Man, oh man. You talking about playing games. Uber and Lyft. So apparently California, they playing a little game. And when I read the story earlier, it's a little different than it is now because it's been updated. So earlier, California had been rolling out some regulation against those two companies specifically and companies like them trying to get them to change the status of their employees. You know, if you're a driver for these rideshare joints, specifically Uber and Lyft, you're an independent contractor. The government, like, no. You got all these people under the same brand, doing the same thing. They're employees. You got to pay them as such. So there's been a battle for like the last 3-4 years. Drivers trying to get, paid sick leave, benefits, basically benefits. And Uber and Lyft are like, nah, wait, for what? We don't have no employees. We got some employees that work at headquarters and at these branch offices, but we don't necessarily. All these 1,000 people, they're not employees, they're independent contractors. Government's like, nah, we're not going to do that. So California gave them a deadline. And so Uber and Lyft, and the deadline was today, the original deadline. So Uber and Lyft was like, all right, well, look here. Since y'all want to do that, man, we'll just shut down. Here's the part that amused me. They said, we'll just shut down. And their defense is they have not declared their drivers as essential workers. So they said the company can shut down because drivers are not essential to the brand. What? How? Ain't no Uber and Lyft without with Olafumi in the black Toyota Camry with the profile like this. Ain't no Uber and Lyft with the drivers, man. What is you talking about? It's similar to the argument that strip clubs had to fight a few years back, but they lost. And so, strip clubs, well, at least in Maryland, I remember in Maryland, they had to change over and make their dancers employees and had to pay them a livable wage. Well, not a livable wage. They had to pay them an hourly wage. Same thing with the service industry. There's just this big move from, moving from a tipping to a salary, basically. So Uber and Lyft are like behemoth companies that have grown exponentially in the last 5 to 7 years, and they still trying to get over. And the government's like, no, sirs, we're not doing that. We're not playing that game. But for them to have the nerve and say they drivers, let me read the story. Because this whole stuff is 2020. All right, here we go. Now, the reason why I say it was updated because they gave in. So California gave in and gave them an extension to September 4th. And September 4th, they have to do one or the other. Either you independent contractors or the regulation going to kick in and everybody their status has to be changed to employees. Uber and Lyft narrowly avoided shutting down their ride. Well, it was updated. Uber and Lyft narrowly avoided shutting down their ride-hailing services in California after an appellate court granted the companies a temporary reprieve, delaying an order that would have forced them to reclassify their drivers in the state by Friday, by tomorrow. Now, while the legal decision today buys the company more time, they still do have a deadline hanging over their heads to reclassify their drivers as employees rather than independent contractors. I said that. Blah, blah, blah. Let me get to the meat of it. While we won't have to suspend operations tonight, we do need to continue fighting for independence plus benefits for drivers, said Lyft's spokesman Julie Wood in a statement. But y'all wasn't fighting for them. As a part of an ongoing lawsuit, a California court last Monday ordered the companies to reclassify their drivers in the state as employees rather than independent contractors in 10 days or by this Friday. I said that already. I want to get that quote where they say the drivers are not essential. It's a long drawn out article. Either way, dumb. 2020. Ridiculous. All right, Mr. Clark said. Oh yeah, Steve Bannon. I mean, that's not even that's weird. I got to read some more into Steve Bannon. Because I don't want to go with half info. And of course, they didn't tell you everything. But Steve Bannon got arrested today on some fraud stuff for fraudulent fundraising for a wall, parts of the wall that they building on the border or whatever. He had a company doing some work and they were trying to fundraise and it was fraudulent. And from what I understand, I don't know if this is accurate. Again, I got to read more in the story. I don't like talking about stuff I ain't talking about. Mr. Clarkson, you gonna Skype or you gonna jump on the regular? I'll send you the email. Apparently he got arrested by the USPS police on charges of post office fraud. Somebody said the irony. I don't know if that's true. It would sound great if that's really what happened. But man, when I seen the pictures of him, you know, being they going to get him, man, he looks dirty. Goodness gracious. He said they never built the wall, they just kept the money. Hey, this is America. This is America. All right. Bring in Mr. Clarkson so we can talk about this foolishness going on in Baltimore right now. We started to talk about it yesterday. Who fast, champ? Who fast? Pull up, Joe. All right, Mr. Clarkson, I sent you the you jump right on the show, or you can Skype, either or, your choice. I sent you the invite, and we get it popping. All right, so let's get into the story. Way Down in the Hole, right? Which, as you know, was the theme song to the greatest show in TV history, The Wire. Way Down in the Hole. I would play it, but YouTube don't like me playing nothing, and so they always block my videos. I ain't gonna do it, but you remember the song. Way down when you walk through the garden and talk to the devil. That one, right? So there's this young lady in Baltimore who is a very outspoken Republican, new to politics, I would imagine, because I've never heard of her. She's running for the 7th district, which is, of course, Elijah Cummings' seat. And she put out some promo this week that was, went viral immediately. Quality was high, you know, visually, and she really threw some points out there that got the internet talking. And one of the things she did was walk through Baltimore in a red dress and high heels. And the commercial, one version of the commercial, she's playing the theme song from The Wire, talking about how shitty parts of the city is. And I was like, wait a minute. You can't blaspheme. You're not The Wire. Nah, you can't do that. So apparently the internet went nuts, and she's got let's play it. Let's play it, and then we're going to talk about her, because Mr. Clarkson did some research, and John says she used to be on Roland Martin's show all the time, and she's awful. Well, a lot of his guests are. So let's watch this commercial real quick, and I'm gonna play the full 3 minutes. Oh, there you go, Mr. Clarkson. I'm gonna play the full 3 minutes, and we're gonna pick it apart and figure out where this went wrong and where it's going. Her name is Kim Klacik. Kim Klacik. And I'll let you formulate your own opinion, and then we'll talk. We'll rejoin. Talk amongst yourselves, and then we'll rejoin.
Do you care about Black lives? The people that run Baltimore don't. I can prove it. Why? About Black lives? The people that run Baltimore don't. I can prove it. Walk with me. They don't want you to see this. I'm Kim Klacik. This is Baltimore, the real Baltimore. This is the reality for Black people every single day. Crumbling infrastructure, abandoned homes, poverty, and crime. Baltimore has been run by the Democrat Party for 53 years. What is the result of their decades of leadership? Baltimore is one of the top 5 most dangerous cities in America. The murder rate in Baltimore is 10 times the U.S. average. The Baltimore poverty rate is over 20%. Homicide, drug, and alcohol deaths are skyrocketing in our city. Do you believe Black Lives Matter? I do. The vast majority of crime in Baltimore is perpetrated against Black people, who make up 60% of the population. So why don't we care about our communities? The Democrat Party have betrayed the Black people of Baltimore. If the politicians walked the streets like I do, they would see exactly how their policies and corruption affects us. But they don't want to see it. They don't want you to see this. Go to any Baltimore neighborhood and ask this question. Do you want to defund the police?
No,
No.
Absolutely not.
I had 3 sons killed in Baltimore City. And I think if we defund the police office, it's going to be worse than that. So, no, I'm opposed to that.
What are you going to defund the police for? Why? How do you defend your city, your community? Families are losing people.
It's not just Baltimore. The worst place for a Black person to live in America is a Democrat-controlled city. It's 2020. Name a blue city where Black people's lives have gotten better. Try. I'll wait. Look at this. How are children supposed to live here and play here? Democrats think Black people are stupid. They think they can control us forever, that we won't demand better, and that we'll keep voting for them forever, despite what they've done to our families and our communities. Are they right? I'm Kim Klacik, and I'm running for Congress because I actually care about Black lives. All Black lives matter. Our communities matter. Baltimore matters. And Black people don't have to vote Democrat.
All right. So, there's so much to unpack. Hey, Mr. Clarkson, you ready? I see you getting yourself together. You ready? Because I want to bring you on before I address. I don't see your face, Mr. Clarkson. You ready? Oh, you in the sun? Oh, you was right there. I didn't know.
Yeah, I was right here.
I was like, what the hell? Pull your visor down.
I know, but this is live.
Yeah, well, sure. Here we go. Let's go live. Welcome to the program, Mr. Clarkson, our executive producer. Now,
hey, what's going on?
The reason I'm having you on is because we were doing some back and forth in a group text yesterday, and you
right.
You did your Googles and you found a lot of information, and we were trying to pick her apart. Now, full transparency, and I see some people in the chat are saying what I'm about to say. She made a lot of good points. Okay,
yeah, she did, but there's a very uncomfortable truth that's going to come out.
All right, let's get to that. Let's go straight to it.
All right, so I've always believed this when it comes to any type of politician. I don't really pay attention too much to what you do on Twitter. I pay attention to what you show me who you really are. And you do that perfectly on IG because it's a photo book. I get to see what you've done, who you're around, why you're around these people, everything else. So let's talk about the uncomfortableness of Kimberly, right?
Okay.
She is a Manchurian candidate.
Oh.
All right. And the word Manchurian simply defines as one that is structured for a cause, but the individual does not know the cause. Okay.
Or as we like to call in the Hotep community, an agent.
Yes, very much so. You said it, not me.
Yeah.
So she's very much so that. Want me to explain more? Sure, why not? I'm here. She's an alum of Bowie State.
Okay.
Now, we all know that the term alum means someone that attended the school that has graduated, or someone who's attended the school for a semester or more.
Mm-hmm.
She dropped out of Bowie State. Now, she's running for a public office. Do me a favor, if you guys can do your own Googles, because I don't want to come across sexist here.
All right, okay.
Google her name and education. Tell me what school shows up. I'll help you out. I've been through 3. I don't know where she went.
So in her defense though, that doesn't necessarily bar you from running for local office.
Did that? I'm glad you said it.
That
so
shouldn't.
Okay. It shouldn't, right? So how about this?
Yeah.
Do you know where Kimberly's house is in the 7th district?
I do not.
You know why? because she doesn't live in the Southern
Because
District.
she doesn't live in this. Oh, so but
So
carpetbagging is a thing. It is a
yeah.
thing, though.
So how can you tell me that you walk the streets? You can't walk those streets. You don't live there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You don't live there. You can't tell me you understand those problems as best as someone who actually lives there. You don't live there.
But
You don't.
it looks so good and believable, and that's the thing that that's the game. That's part of the game that we fall for. We tend to fall for because we're not doing the Googles, we're not doing the research. It look real, it look authentic.
Right, but
I believe it.
it looks good because she's in a red dress.
Right,
She's attractive. Let's
right,
call it what it is. The Indian Remy is working. She
right.
got it falling
Bundles,
down her
bundles on bundles.
shoulders.
She got a Baltimore bundles.
Bundles galore, and she's been able
Yeah.
to hit some really cool talking points, right? But it's difficult for me to say, well, I believe what you're trying to tell me when I know better. Because if you were, then hey, yo, where have you been all along? Where you come from?
Yeah.
Why don't nobody
Yeah.
have no background information? You real Manchurian out here. And
And,
then
and
you've
I think it's disrespectful. You're just walking through the worst parts of the city. Now, Baltimore has some I mean, absolute rundown, decrepit corners, and she
correct.
found all four of them, and made sure she walked through with the swiftness. She was walking fast at that, but she made sure she
Right.
used that as a backdrop to say this is why our city is so terrible. And I think that's fraudulent. It's fraudulent
Yeah.
and disrespectful. And then, we know the conversation is ongoing. Black people don't have to vote Democrat. We know this. We already know this.
Right.
But you talk about she was borderline close to being like, I love the blacks. You know what I'm saying? The blacks don't even understand how they don't have to vote Democrat. I love the blacks. I was like, it's not even genuine coming out of her mouth. It didn't even sound right.
No, it's not genuine coming out of her mouth because that's not what she is. And then you scroll a little bit further. You go down a couple of pages, and you always see her posed up with like black folks, but you don't really see her doing any work.
Mm.
Then it got to something that was really disturbing. So I went, let me see something that connects you to black culture. Just let me see one thing. I see a picture of Martin Luther King laid up in the hospital bed. And I said, okay, let's get it. Then I read the caption. The caption says, black on black crime happens. It's just not white folks that are supremacists. And she brings up Iso Curry, which that's disgusting. And I know a lot of people are like, who's Iso Curry?
Who's Iso Curry?
Here we go. So when King was 29 years old, he was unfortunately stabbed in Harlem at a book signing by a mentally disturbed woman whose IQ registered it at 63, which is very much so a toddler. She stabs King, and when she stabs King, it's a big deal. In fact, so much so that when King is rushed to the hospital, if he would have sneezed, he dies. This is real.
Yeah.
Check it, enjoy it, all that's there, right? So that's the part that's so uncomfortable is that how do you use such a tragic moment in our history to bring up that black folks can be racist too? Like, what you doing out here?
Right.
What
Right.
you really doing out here, yo?
Right. Photo ops. And that's what I see her at. But here's the thing. So, and then the other piece of the ad was, the defund the police part. So you went to the four people who I'm pretty sure are not all the way clear on what defunding the police means.
Thank you.
You out here door dashing?
No. I just had some work done on the house, man. Just thanking them for doing, the work and everything.
Oh yeah.
You guys keep it.
This is live,
You keep it.
ladies and gentlemen.
I told you this is live. This is live. Summertime. Trying to get the house right and everything. So yeah.
Right.
So anyway, man.
But yeah.
Long story short.
I was saying what I was saying was that she goes to the four people that don't really understand the full meaning of defunding the police to get a perspective on defunding the police.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like you you're talking to people, one, who, okay, so let's get to it as well too. When you're doing any type of political push or give, and someone has an intimate story like that, you share those people's names.
Mm-hmm.
Why ain't nobody's names in the CGI?
Mm.
You know, because you're basically using them as testimonial.
Right.
Where's their names? Well,
Right.
here's the thing. In most political campaigns, you can't use anyone as a testimonial and give their name unless if you've paid for them to talk.
Okay. Okay. Fun fact. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically,
That's a dead giveaway then.
yeah, so in most jurisdictions, if you are paid to talk about something on behalf of a candidate, your name can be given if, of course, it was for free. If people feel so
Right.
passionate, put your name behind it.
Right. Right. All right. So to the point about Democratic run cities,
Sure,
is that factual information or no?
it is factual, but that's not. It's okay. So it's kind of like 1/3 the mayor's fault,
Mm-hmm.
but two-thirds the governor's fault.
Mm.
Imagine you being 3 years old, right? And this is why I always say I really would love for people to really study civics just a little bit more so you can understand how money moves, who controls the money, and everything else, right?
Right.
So imagine that I want to say 5 years old, right?
All right, so
You're 5 years old. Of course, I'm reverbing. So I'm 5 years old, right? You're 5, and your parents keep making fun of you,
Okay.
going, "Yo, why you so damn broke? You so broke," and they keep clowning you. You're 5. You can't help
Mm-hmm.
it. You don't have any money. You don't have any resources. You may have ability, but once again, it's your aptitude. A mayor only works. So when we talk about, oh, governor matter, yeah, you need to vote because you're voting against your interest. Then here's the issue, right? I know I'm gonna give y'all a vertical. Here's the other issue, right? Which is crazy. She wants to. She's a huge fan school choice and voucher system for education. That's terrible. I wouldn't vote for her because systems are absolutely what cripples a lot of public schools. For those that don't understand what a voucher system is, basically what it is, my pool is bad. So money so that my child can go to a private school. I call it what is in general the bad McDonald's theory, right? If you've grown up in the hood, you know that there is the good McDonald's and the bad McDonald's. The good McDonald's
Right.
is further away from your house. The ice cream machine always
Yep.
worked there, right? The bad McDonald's is right by in your hood, 2 blocks away. A good majority of time, people always go to the good McDonald's. That's exactly what's happening inside of education. We have kids that are in Southeast DC taking 2 buses and a metro to go to a good school in Northwest when their neighborhood school is right around the corner. Fix neighborhood schools. When you say you want to be a part of a voucher system, what you're telling me is that you want to put big business in education and you really don't care about it.
Mm. And you saying that that's what side she's on?
Yes, because it's, and once again, you can go right to her website. Why are
Mm-hmm.
you not saying fix neighborhood schools? The issue isn't like a Big Mac on one part of town and Big Mac on another part of town should be exactly the same. Fix where they're making bad Big Macs at. Fix those bad schools. Don't just keep pouring money into the good schools and saying, well, we're going to give you money to go to a good school when there's a school right in your neighborhood. That's terrible.
Mm.
But when you
I
do that, you're just letting me know who you really want in schools.
I just think from the commercial, what I got from the commercial, my takeaway is, you know, you coming out showing me how horrible Baltimore is, and because
Sure.
Democrats ran it 53 years, and because, you know, there's a lot of killings and murders, and even though killings and murders, the same thing, even though they redeveloped the harbor and Harbor East and areas of downtown and Fells Point and Canton, and there's been a little bit of gentrification. There's still other areas. But if you say, if you just say that and not identify the root causes, then it's bogus to me. Because again, you're touting one party over the other,
Right.
as if it comes down to party. Both parties in major cities experience some levels of corruption.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm,
the same crimes.
you know,
Like somebody in the chat said, wait a minute, let me go back. Sammy K said, to counter her point about Democratic cities, black people doing horrible. Well, where are the Republican-run cities where African Americans are doing better? Like, where's that? If that's a thing, black people catching the hell all over the nation. So, and also, you got to understand Baltimore. A lot of people don't understand Baltimore. Baltimore had one of the. Oh, we lost him. We'll get him back. Baltimore has and had one of the most corrupt police forces in modern American history. They just sent within the last 3 years like 14 people, career officers, veteran officers. They don't lost 2 chiefs done stepped down. The commissioner, he done rolled out. The gun trace task force. Google, do your Googles, the gun trace task force, GTTF scandal, where over the last 4 to 5 years, they've sent like 13, 14 veteran officers to prison with football numbers, big time, because of corruption. And I'm talking, and now when you Google it, it'll blow you away. The reason why, I mean, watch The Wire. The Wire wasn't it wasn't a fantasy. It wasn't a fairy tale. They're telling you how the city is, and a lot of it had to do with a corrupt police force. And like I said, as recent as 2017, 2018, Google, what was his name? Officer Wayne, Derek Wayne or Wayne Derricks. I forgot his name, but they gave him like 30 years because this is what he did for 20 years. This is what he did for 20 years. He's planting drugs.
Yeah.
He's knocking off dealers. He's killing dealers, and a lot of it had to do with a corrupt police force. And I'm reverbing, turn me down. He's planting the gun that they committed a murder with on another dealer.
Right.
He's robbing dope dealers. They raping and kidnapping prostitutes. This was the police force. So when you talk about how bad of a condition it's in, you can't sit there and do a campaign ad and talk, because there's one guy in the chat is saying we're attacking her. I'm not attacking her, but leaving out so much of the story with what's wrong with Baltimore and basing it down to my party is better than yours for black people.
Or better yet, if I'm attacking her, and I'll help you, because that's what I do in education. I help people all the time, right?
Okay.
Where was she? So here's the thing. You can't.
What part of town was she? Yes.
No. I'm saying you're telling me that you want to run for office.
Oh, where you been? Where you been? Yeah, where you been?
Where you been? It's a real easy question, right? Like, if I'm going to run for office, let's say if I'm going to run for the school board, okay? People be like, oh, Clarkson, man, he's been to school board. He's been doing X, Y, and Z. He's a teacher. He's got a decade plus in the game. I know where he's been. And he's at ground zero.
Right.
You don't even live in the district that you're trying to be the leader of. Where you been, fam?
Yeah, where you been, fam? Yeah. And he just show up shitting on it. Just like, the blacks.
Right, like you can't be like, okay, Nas is a reporter, right? When we talk about MCs, Nas is a reporter. Okay. Like Nas isn't doing the dirt, but he's there and he's reporting what it is because he's there.
Okay.
How you reporting outside the bubble? How you report outside the bubble and they're going to tell me, well, if you let me in the bubble, I can change it.
Right.
Like, even how your website or the questions was asked as a setup. They ask you, well, will you move into the 7th district? She says, if I'm elected, I'll move into the 7th district.
Oh, wow. That's bold. That's bold.
Right. So you can't tell me, oh, Black Lives Matter. I was about to use a word. They don't even matter to you. Because once again, if you want to fight for something, you've always been here, but you ain't been though.
And that's another issue I take with the campaign strategy.
Yep.
Is You know, I can't judge anybody's measure of what they feel about black people. I'm not going to be like, you're no. But I don't like when you use it. You use BLM as an ideology when you know you've never used it before today.
Correct.
Like you've never stood on that.
Or see, that walk would have been a lot more powerful if she could have said, right there at that corner, I sat there, and that's where I went to school at. This is where I was raised, and now this building's no longer there. This is I've lived here my entire life, and I've seen a Democratic Party completely destroy this city, and I'm tired of it. See, that's a different now you have more ownership of what you're walking through.
Right. Yeah. And now, so to the viewers, all right. We've said all of this. Now, what did I say? What did I say in the chat yesterday? I still think she's going to win, just because of the climate.
She gonna win.
She's gonna win.
She gonna win because and I'm trying to navigate this a certain type of way, right? She gonna win because she's packaged a certain type of way,
marketed well. And it's those hot button buzzword issues, talking points that is, you know, frontal lobe right now for everybody on both sides, and they're going to work. They're going to work. It's the same way your man does when he tweets every morning.
Yep.
He gets up to rile his base. And
what's the name of the white girl who's got the show? And she was on the show for a hot little second. She has a show, blonde haired girl, was with Charlemagne the God.
Oh, Tommy Lauren.
Same chick.
Yes.
Same chick.
Identical.
She is mastered BLMM. It's the same thing that the NFL is doing. BLMM. Black Lives Matter marketing.
Okay. I like it.
She's done it. She's done it perfectly.
I like
it. Somebody's already fallen for it.
Oh, well, yeah. All you gotta do is rile them up.
Yeah, because all that's gonna happen is she's gonna hug somebody.
Yeah.
She's gonna smell good one day. She's gonna go right off of Alameda. Off of North.
Yeah, North Avenue. Yeah.
Off of North Avenue. You know, not by Coppin. She's gonna go a little further down, but you know everybody around her gonna have some pieces on them. Gonna have some Ninas on it in case they jump out stupid. But that's really what it's about.
And in the climate that we're in today, I think that argument about what has the Democratic Party done for you is very compelling.
It is. It's a great argument.
It's a great argument. It's based somewhat in fact, but without context, it's easy to miss. It's easy to miss, and most of us don't get context. So when you sell it to me like that, I might buy it.
Right, because we don't want. This is what I'm going to, and this is why I'm going to keep saying this. We need to teach civics. We want political action, but we fail to consistently do research.
Mm-hmm.
We consistently, like we're notorious for voting off of name recognition. Like in The Distinguished Gentleman, it's an old movie with Eddie Murphy. Basically, he gets away with being elected because Jefferson is a guy that everyone's familiar with.
The name you know, Jefferson.
The name you know, right? Yeah. And I want to challenge us all to be more cognizant of who we're voting for and why we're voting for it. And go to people's IG pages. Hey, where you been?
Yeah, where you been, fam?
Yeah, where you been? Like, you just can't show up on the scene and be like, well, I'm going to fix it. Right. Okay, but what you been? Because here's the thing. You run for office because you tried it this way. Now you want to try it at another level.
Right. And so in closing, I went to some of the pages that you sent, and I don't know if you saw the one where she congratulated after her stuff went viral.
Mm-hmm.
She congratulated her, I guess, associate who came up with the idea and who shot it. And when I seen it, I was like, oh, okay, culture vulture. Oh, okay.
Oh, I was gonna leave it with a parting shot. Maybe 7th, 8th row down, because it's hidden very well. You'll see what her husband looks like.
Well, see, I was deliberately leaving that out.
You can look up and see what her husband does for a living.
I was deliberately leaving that out because I was like, that's not a fair assessment of how dedicated somebody is to the cause.
No.
If you got to say the same thing about Kamala Harris.
Right, but I'm not picking his race. I'm picking what he does for a living.
I missed that. What does he do?
See, this, I want you to be very clear. Look at what he does for a living. And also, she's giving you a lot of black woman, hear me roar, right? And that's cool.
Feminism and glam and all that, yeah.
Right. Notice what she says about abortion. Go to her page, y'all.
Okay.
She looks like she could be at the cookout, but she should actually be as furthest thing away from it.
Well, to me, I'll let her live on that if it lines up with her conservative presentation. If it lines up, then I'm fine with that.
No, the thing is that she doesn't give a straight answer.
Oh, okay.
So, but then again, she's part of she started an organization that's pro-life.
Okay.
So what are you trying to do here? Like that's a major point.
Okay.
But also you can't say, well, Baltimore it has these certain issues. That is actually a major issue in many urban communities is teen pregnancy. And how do you educate young families?
Right.
But you're not talking about that.
Right. Yeah, well, we got to leave it there. There's that. Mr. Clarkson, I appreciate you one more again. Hey, so what you getting a roof? You getting a new roof or you painting?
Hey, I did a repart front of the house and everything. We, painting, you know what I'm saying? Making a little money.
So did you do gentrification gray? That's a great color this time of year.
Nah.
Oh, you didn't do that?
No, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. But money's good, so we did a little redo, boom, 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 and everything else. So it's important.
Hey, there it is, man.
Hey, keep time for rolling. Keep time for rolling.
Ooh, yeah. Let me see what I got. Okay, we got a couple minutes.
I'm gonna jump off. Appreciate
you, Mr. Clarkson, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Clark said, "Hey, good luck to Kim Klasick." Somebody said she got 3 Ks in her name. How that's so, y'all are so offensive. That is so, but she does. Hey, well, there's that. We're gonna leave that there, and we'll see what comes of that. And then when it happens, we revisit and bring it up, and then somebody will be like, "I told you so," and somebody else will be like, "You ain't said shit." And so that's that. All right, last story. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Oh. About this time of the show, every day we'd like to leave on a lesson and hear a word from an elder in a segment that we like to call Hi Dad. And listen close, pay attention, man. We're dropping some jewels out here, man.
Happy every day, brothers and sisters. This is Alpha Papa with today's reflection. I am going back to 1964. I completed my basic training in San Antonio, Texas in 1964. I was a naive colored boy from Washington, D.C., getting my orders to go to technical school for a radar technician. My drill sergeant asked me, where are my orders sending me from basic training? I replied, overseas, sir. He looked at me in amazement and said, you cannot go overseas on assignment straight from basic training. He then looked at my orders and started laughing. The orders stated that I was being assigned to a base in Biloxi, Mississippi. He laughed again and said, you will do well in the service. I wrote about this incident to Reader's Digest, Humor in Uniform. However, it was sent back to me and never was published. They cited that it would be inappropriate considering the turbulent times in the South in 1964. They were correct in their decision. Like I said, I was very naive. I quickly got an education in the South that woke me up and kept me awake. I have many stories to share that had to be told in another setting or medium, perhaps writing a book. Teachable moments can inspire you to share at any time. Peace and blessings. Alpha Papa, signing off.
All right, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. A word from an elder. That was a funny joke. He got out of basic training, and his commander, or whatever they call it, was like, "Where your order shipping you to?" And he said, "Overseas." And he grabbed his paperwork and said, "You can't go overseas straight out of basic." And he looked at it, and it was Biloxi, Mississippi in 1964. He's a funny guy. He is a funny guy. Oh, man. All right, y'all be quiet. I'm like fake laughing. All right, so there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow, you can catch me if you got Sirius XM for my people listening across the country. Urban View Channel 126, 3 p.m. to 6 tomorrow. I'm filling in for Karen Hunter on her show. This will be the last one for the month. So if you got it, hey, man, go get the 3-month trial, or hijack somebody else's, and listen to me. We're going to have a good time tomorrow, and we'll be here after that show live. I'm doing double duty tomorrow. All fun and games with the homie John Watson right here on Let's Go Live with Lamont King. Again, feel free to support. If you want to slide us a loose dollar, we'll take it. We take dimes and nickels, as in $5 and $10. We'll take it, man. Everything goes to production costs and raising funds for a good cause. And you ask yourself, well, what does that cause? That cause is because. So if you want to do that and also join my Patreon, you can pay. If you don't feel like paying every time I ask, you subscribe to my Patreon and get all the content for one low price. Build monthly. It's a wonderful situation. I appreciate y'all. Out of time. Look at the time, man. The time just gets away when you're having a good time. We're doing a good show, rolling. Stand by tomorrow. We'll try to get you on, but today we're out of time. But everybody else, man, y'all be safe. Stay out of trouble. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. And if you did, don't tell nobody.
Man, I'm just working, man.
I know what my audience like. I did some independent films with Master P. A lot of those movies did really well.
I'm ambitious. I'm a hustler. I have my own lane.
That's the thing about comedy. You wake up every day, you don't know if you're funny that day.